Well, thank you, Michelle, and thank you all for passing those motions so I could really stand up here. And I think probably Walter is most happy that that passed. I'm very honored to be your next president and to serve the JCRC. I'll try to learn to say the organization, JCRC. It's an organization whose mission and people I hold in the highest regard. Now, I'm going to be a little repetitious, but I can't help myself. And that is, I have to shout out Walter. I have to give you special thanks for your impressive stewardship of the JCRC for these past 2 years, for your clearly endless energy, your excellent judgment, and your very kind and gentle manner, and your dedication to the whole Jewish community. You will leave me with big shoes to fill. And thanks to our Federation partners and the phenomenal JCRC professional staff led by Jackie Congedo, who you already met, and Associate Director Justin Kirshner, who you've met on screen. You are both a very special gift to the Jewish community. I come to this position with the perspective of almost 4 decades of teaching and studying law at the University of Cincinnati College of Law, where I write about American constitutional law with a focus on the First Amendment. I've spent much time with analyzing the importance and scope of religious liberty in our pluralistic democratic society and pondering the dilemmas surrounding hate speech and the possible future limitations on it. Through my work, I've gained insights that have given me a passion for the work that the JCRC does, especially in this era of rapid rise in anti-Semitism in America. As you can see on the slide behind me, this is the JCRC mission. It's to protect Jewish security, recognizing that Jewish security depends on a just society for all. Now, the JCRC is the collective voice of our Jewish community in building relationships with other communities across Cincinnati, a task that is critical to accomplishing our mission. Successfully building and strengthening these relations is the core of what we do. There are several reasons why this is and should be so. First, in light of our mission, building relationships across communities by engaging on issues of mutual concern, like immigration, like criminal justice reform, is important. And it's important not only because it enhances the strength and quality of our entire community, but also because helping to build a more just society is morally the right thing to do based on Jewish philosophical and ethical tenets. This means being invested not only in these issues with our words, but with our actions. 2, building relationships across communities leads to mutual trust and understanding, essential for working together in order to solve common problems as well as eradicating common evils. Finding such commonality is itself an important element in protecting the security of our own Jewish community. We are all very much aware of the alarming rise in anti-Semitism and bigotry of all types. Anti-Semitism, like Islamophobia, racism, and other forms of vile discrimination, is a manifestation of the same disease of hate and intolerance that infects all of our communities, and it requires a unified effort to defeat it. Anti-Semitism is not just a Jewish problem. It is a universal problem. Perhaps the most extraordinary and important statistic for me that came out of the Summit on Anti-Semitism and Hate was, as Walter mentioned, 60% of the attendees were not Jewish. 60% not Jewish. This is a testament to the extraordinary and important work that is being done in this community. It is a testament to the significant number of Cincinnati leaders from all communities who care about standing up against anti-Semitism and other forms of hate, who value cooperation, and who are willing to join us in seeking understanding and solutions. We must continue together. We must continue to build on these principles. The diversity in this room tonight speaks to the broad commitment of our communities to mutual support. One of the primary tools of the purveyors of anti-Semitism and bigotry is hate speech. While the First Amendment protects hate speech that is short of incitement from government censorship, it also protects our right to protest such evil. And of course, we must do this together. First Amendment jurisprudence says, the light of good speech, of just speech, exposes the darkness of hate speech. We stand tallest and we speak loudest when we do it together, united. We will silence the chants of the hate mongers with our words of unity. We will not tolerate the intolerance of those who inspire the violence of bigots against others. While it is extraordinarily dangerous, hate is really ultimately cowardly. Venomous, hate-filled speech may be constitutionally protected, but it will be no match for the strength and courage of our united condemnation. In short, building relations across communities enables us to build this unified response. Working together does not require that we agree on all issues. It requires only that we care enough to try to cooperate to make the world a better place. This is good for the security of the Jewish community, and it is necessary in order to build a more just society for all people. It is the fulfillment of our mission. I'd like also to mention several other activities that the JCRC will be engaged in during the coming year, in addition to continuing our efforts at building and strengthening relationships with other communities. First, we will work to develop new strategies to meet, sadly, the growing needs of Jewish students experiencing rising anti-Semitism in schools, as has been mentioned. This means that we need to provide these students with tools to advocate for themselves, but also working with parents and educators to combat anti-Semitism in this context. Second, we will call out efforts to delegitimize and to demonize Israel for what they are, a modern manifestation of anti-Semitism. But we will also help people to understand that there's a difference between criticizing Israeli policies and delegitimizing the Jewish state, and that not all criticism of Israel is anti-Semitism. We will continue to convene difficult but fair and nuanced conversations about Israel that provide space for multiple narratives and shades of gray. Third, as the nonpartisan public policy arm of the Jewish community, it is also our obligation to help educate about important and often challenging public policy topics. And it's also our responsibility to model a civil approach in discussing these topics. To that end, we will continue hosting lectures from thought leaders, both local and national, to further community conversations, as we will do this fall when we will have Ambassador Dennis Ross here in November. We are also partnering with our Jewish Federation's Israel Center and the Merison JCC in order to bring Yossi Klein Halevi of the Shalom Hartman Institute here to discuss his book that he published just this past year, Letters to My Palestinian Neighbor. This is a book that encourages diverse conversations, and so we invite all of you to join the dialogue at any number of public library book club discussions this summer. Fourth, many have asked about a follow-up to our summit on anti-Semitism and hate. All I can give you at this time, right now, is a little sneak preview. We have a very new, innovative initiative in the works that will make the transformative conversation that was sparked at the summit and take it to the next level. So stay tuned. And finally, fifth, the great unknown. There are always unforeseen new issues that will arise during the course of the next year that we will address with thoughtfulness, moral courage, and Jewish values. So I close with a note of optimism and enthusiasm. I am very fortunate to have a very strong board, as you can just see, with whom I will have the pleasure of working. Its members are creative and critical thinkers that have an impressive breadth of knowledge with a wide variety of backgrounds and diversity of views. Their skills, combined with the amazing talents of our professional staff, Jackie and Justin, make me confident that we will have the ability and the resources to address the critical issues facing our community with careful analysis, intelligence, and vision. I hope you will all want to be involved in these endeavors and not hesitate to bring issues, questions, innovative ideas, and creative thinking to help in these collective efforts. I am also extremely heartened by the partnership our Jewish community is fortunate to have with so many other communities in Cincinnati, many of whom are represented right here tonight. The work we have ahead of us requires our collective effort, and I am grateful to see that you are here tonight because it means you share our belief in the power of togetherness. Thank you very much. I look forward to working with you all.